Welcome back to We Are Tottenham TV, the only place to be on match day. And what a match day is today, a London derby that some have called El Sacico, as Tottenham take on West Ham. Hope everybody is well. Thank you for joining us. I'm joined today by three lovely gents. I've got my other half, some may say better half, Jimbo. I've got the legend, Mr. Dermatron from THFC Till We Die. And we've got the wonderful Mr. Chang all the way from Kuala Lumpur with us today as well. Jimbo, how are you doing today?
Excellent, darling. Looking forward to the game. Yes. Thank you.
Me too. Mr. Dermatron, how are you feeling?
I'm pumped. I'm ready for this game. This is a game I always love. I love the West Ham game. I love beating West Ham. I just love putting them in the mud for another season. We beat them 3-0 at their ground. We're going to put the final nail in their coffin in our relegation fight for this year. And we're going to put Nuno, who I kind of like Nuno, out of a job. And it is El Sacico for him.
It is 100%. And Mr. Chang, how are you, sir?
Doing very, very well here in Southeast Asia, Miss Kate. Thank you so very, very much for having me back on the Pre-Match Pump-Up. It's always a pleasure and an honor to be here with you, your significant other, of course, Mr. Boxer, and as always, Mr. Moyles, another Irish Hotspur, and absolutely looking forward to this London derby. Pretty pumped up, I have got to say, but the nerves are starting to kick in. Yes, it could be seen as an El Sacico, but take nothing away from the occasion. I think this is one to savor for us Spurs fans. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we will be getting our first league win of the calendar year 2006. Having said that, without further ado, it's straight back to you, Miss Kate.
Yes, let's hope so. Thank you, Chang. Big up to Joseph Todd, who's become a new member, and also to Lawrence Oates, who has become a new member as well. Massive thank you from the boys. And also Steve Dyer, who's been a member for 1 month, who says 3-0 Spurs, Gallagher brace. Come on, you Spurs. Welcome also to everyone joining us. Brian Dager will be here straight after us doing the watch along with Sim as well, so make sure you stay tuned. You don't need to go anywhere else. You literally get it all here. But obviously, we've got a lot to talk about today. But I wanted to start on some news that broke last night, which was that Vinay Venkatesham, I hope I've said that right, has released a 2-page statement today, which is going to be in the programme, but it's also been put on the Tottenham website. I thought it was an excellent statement, and I get that a lot of people will say the proof's going to be in the pudding. I remember when we got Vinay, a lot of the Arsenal fans said one thing you can rely on him with is he's an excellent communicator, and I think that the message he's put out is excellent. I think it's very funny that it's come out on the day that there's going to be a protest. It's, in my opinion, impeccable timing. You know, we're protesting today, a lot of fans, about lack of communication from the club and the signings, the ambition. He's come out and said they're going to improve on the communication. We're going to focus on the underutilization of our academy. Incidentally, talking of our academy, Chelsea sold £315 million of academy players in the last 4 years, and City have sold 215 million. So this is how different our standard of the academy is, if you like. Jimbo, obviously we watched it come out last night. Chris Cowling covered it and we heard him go through it. What do you make of Vinay's message to the fans? And also, do you think he's done it now because there is this protest today?
I mean, it's I think maybe a bit of a coincidence. If he'd have done it last week, maybe there wouldn't be a protest today, because he's kind of addressed everything that they're protesting about. So, I mean, it's just the timing's unbelievable. I said to you when it came on last night, it's like he's trying to shove it up the backsides of the protesters. But it's what we needed to hear. But we didn't want to hear it the day before the protest. If he'd have done it last week, probably wouldn't be a protest. So, I mean, I just see Brian Daigle said it was well written.
It was brilliantly written, yeah.
Yeah, it was really well written. And that's all we want. It's just communication from someone above to say, we need reassurances. That's all we
Mm-hmm.
want as a club, you know. And people spend so much money. I mean, we don't get to go to many games. What did we go to, 4 or 5 last year?
Yeah.
But we spend a fortune on their merchandise. I've got a merchandise all over the house. I've got a wardrobe full of their tops, and you know, we spend our money, the fans, and that's what we need to hear. Someone saying they're gonna try and make the club go forward and challenge. That's what we want. I
Yeah.
mean, you think about some of these people that go to the away games all the time, like people like Johnny. I mean, they must spend. I see what I said to you. They must spend an absolute fortune. So they deserve to know what's going on at the club. So it's not a lot to ask for.
Yeah, I mean, Dermot, Vinay come out and said we must add more quality, experience and leadership, which to me, it says a more proactive approach to recruitment alongside a wage structure that supports our ambition. The quality, experience and leadership, for me, is the 3 things that I would use to describe Conor Gallagher. The fact that we've sold Johnson and Valise, we've bought in Conor Gallagher, do you think this is a sign that actually things might actually be changing?
I wouldn't trust the board as far as I can throw them. I think getting Gallagher in was brilliant. I think it was a great bit of business. I think it was hastened by the injury to Bentancur, to be fair. I think if Bentancur didn't get the hamstring, I don't think we would have got Gallagher. I think that would have dragged on until the end of the window. I look, for me, it's Brian's right. It's well written, and Jim's right. It's out too late. But for me, it's just words. We need to see action. We've had 25 years of the same thing. We had Daniel Levy writing these pieces in programs in years gone by. And for me, we have to come out today. We have to protest. We have to keep going. And I was saying it for a long time. We should never have stopped protesting. We should have continued after Levy left the club. We should have continued because it kept pressure on the board. It kept pressure on Enoch and Vinay and Viv and Charlie Lewis to keep them, doing what's right for us fans. And we need communication. We need better players, and we need a better people to run the club. And we haven't had any of them 3 for a long time. And then suddenly today there's a protest. There's a statement for Vinay. Yeah, okay. That's just all saying. Yeah, you can protest all you want, but this is what I'm going to say. Actions speak louder than words. Yeah, it's great we got Gallagher, but I'm a little bit cynical. If Bentancur hadn't been injured or pulled his hamstring, would we have really got Gallagher? I think he might have been an Aston Villa
The
today.
thing is, Dermot, I have said, right, I have said for the last few weeks that it is really the first window since Levy left, right? So we kind of got to give them the benefit of the doubt there. You know, when Levy left, they did come out and say they were going to do things different. So it's the proof is in the pudding, right? So this window is a massive window for them to show us what they're going to do. But it's been a good start because they went in, I think it was 9 million more than Aston Villa to get Gallagher. So
we had to get him, Jim. We had to get him. We had
Yeah.
no other midfielders. We had to get him. To answer your point, you said a lot of people said this to me, even on my own channel. Oh, we're going to give Ian. I don't trust them as far as I can throw them. I'm not giving them any time. They're the same board as they were for the last 25 years. You may have different faces, you may have different people, but it's the same board. It's the same people that are running the football club.
People out the window, Dermot. So you've got to give them the window to see if
No,
they're
I'm
going
not.
to.
I'm not going to give them a window. For me, this is it. I've seen enough in this first half. This window proved to me they're the same as the. Or now it's down to them to change my mind. I want them to show me that, to prove me wrong. That's all I'm asking. It's the same with Thomas Frank. As long as they can prove me wrong, I will hold up my hand and say I was wrong. I'm sorry, and you have proved me wrong. Until that point, I will stay on the same point. It's the same people for 25 years. Different faces, yes. But would we have gone for Gallagher if Bentancur was injured? Probably not. I think that hastened that transfer. It's a great buy, by the way. I'm absolutely delighted Gallagher's here, and I think it's a great addition to our midfield. But we've got to keep them under pressure. We've got to show them that we haven't gone quiet and we haven't gone away, and we're fighting for our club. And that's how I feel. I'm sorry if it's not what everyone else thinks, but it's just how I'm feeling. At the
No,
moment.
everyone's entitled to their opinion. I mean, someone said in the chat why I or whoever at the protest. I don't really think protesting is that effective. That's just my personal opinion, and I don't feel strongly enough. Had Levy still been here, maybe, but I think I'm kind of with Jim. I just want to see what they do. You know, they're making changes. They're bringing in new people all the time. I just kind of want to give them the benefit of the doubt, because that's just who I am. Maybe I'm a bit of a mug like that, really, but I just, I agree. I think the proof's going to be in the pudding, but for now, I'm just going to wait and see. And I just don't think the protests are actually that effective, but I do have massive respect for anyone that goes. And had we have been going to the game today, we probably would have popped over and seen the people protesting, but it's just not something that we choose to do. But I understand both sides. But I mean, Mr. Chang, he also said we need to have a more proactive approach to recruitment alongside a wage structure that supports our ambition. Do you think we're finally going to see a reset in our wage structure to keep up with the rivals? Because obviously we know that we've got a limit to what we pay and we don't tend to go over that. Do you think there's a chance they may actually start paying more wages?
If that were to happen, Miss Kate, I think that will only happen for the new signings, because to actually put in a wage structure now, when there's a system in place with our current crop of players, a very sudden fluctuation of our wages for our current crop of players might throw off the balance in terms of any new incomings, or even any sort of bonuses or promotions, as it were, for our existing players. But I believe the funds are there. It's only whether or not the board are willing to put their money where their mouth is, and actually, for once, operate like a big club, as we know we should and could very well be. The rumors are that Conor Gallagher is now on what, £200, is £200,000, is it, or something like that, something close to that sort of sum. If that is the, if that is the first step, then it's a major step in the right direction. But I would urge caution, because players on hefty wages, if they aren't producing, and similarly, if we get wind of it, if we the fans get wind of their big salaries, but they are not actually producing on the pitch, then it could get very, very toxic, very, very very unhealthy, very fast. But we do have the funds. It's only a matter of when are we going to implement such wages that befits players and their talents, their level of football on the pitch. But hopefully Conor Gallagher and his current salary, that will be the first of many new signings, and hopefully signings that would actually translate to success on the pitch for us, Miss Kate. Having said that, straight back to you.
Yeah, I agree. He also addressed the distance between the club and the supporters. He mentions a trial singing section in the stadium and reviewing the concessions for younger fans. Look, I think the concessions me personally, think that would be a massive way to bridge the bad feeling between the supporters and the club. And I don't think it should just be for use. I think the disabled concessions, as far as singing and that sort of thing in the stadium, Jim, surely when the fans see good performances and the players really trying and positivity, that they're seen.
Okay, if you go into a shop, right, and you say you're going into a cafe and you order a meal, right, and the meal's shit, you're going to complain. So if you go into a football match and you spend a lot of money and the football's absolutely shit and they're charging you a fortune, you're entitled to complain, right? And so I'm not one for booing, but I don't condemn people for booing. I'm just not that tired. I'm not a booer, right? But people are paying a lot of money, and some of the dross they've seen, people are going up to Newcastle, they're going up to Wolves, and all these places, and they're spending a fortune, and they're watching a team not putting effort in, and playing one half crap and the second half good. Well, that's not good enough. They need to play both halves good. So people are entitled, if they want to boo and if they want to have a moan, then they're entitled to moan. So that's something they're just going to have to suck up and take. They're taking the money to take the criticism when you're not giving the people their money's worth.
Exactly.
Can
The
I just
starting
add
11.
one more thing, Kate? Just
Course
one thing
can.
on the disabled point. I'm disabled myself. I've got my back is crumbling, and I have other medical issues that are wrong. So when I went to Tottenham a couple of last year, I wasn't allowed to bring in my walking stick. Now I can understand that because they think that I might have launched it at a player because we were playing Crystal Palace and they're playing dreadful. But the point I'm making is I had 2 Tottenham staff, and I did complain to Spurs about this, that told me it's not our problem. And that's not good enough for all supporters at the end of the day. It doesn't matter if you're able to walk in or you're disabled. We should be treated the same. And
Exactly.
I think they've got to somehow allow it. I had to walk halfway around the stadium, which is hard enough for me sometimes, to actually get them to check my bag. They should be at every entrance point at the stadium. They don't have to keep. And I think if he did that and things like that, and if he made it a little bit easy for people like myself, a bit more easier, then I think that will go a long way as well. Because I
Yeah,
feel
I
that
agree.
disabled people are sort of ignored when it comes to getting in the stadium.
Yeah, I agree with you, Dermot, 100,000,000%. The lineup is out, and we've got the lovely Conor Gallagher's picture on the starting 11. We've got Vicario, we've got Xavi playing, Tell, Gray is in, Romero, Gallagher makes his debut for Spurs, Pedro Porro plays like he does at every single game, Odobert, Davis is back in. Don't hear any dissing from Davis, because last time you all dissed Davis, he scored and got man of the match. I'm just saying. Van der Ven and Kolo Muani is our starting 11. And on the bench, we've got Kinski, Dragoshin, Danso, Bissouma makes the bench, Udogi, Bergvall, Solanke, Spence, Scarlett. Mr. Chang, I'll come to you first. A big surprise there for me, just looking at the bench, is Bissouma actually even making it into the squad. But I mean, what's your thoughts on the starting 11 and the bench?
It's a very, very strong starting 11. Conor Gallagher walking straight into that starting 11 less than a week after signing. I think the ink has barely dried on his contract. But I mean, what a welcome sight it is to have fresh blood right straight into the starting 11. And I don't want to hear any more sort of dissing and looking down upon Ben Davies. The last time we did a pre-match pump-up before the Sunderland game, I wanted him to score. I got my wish. Unfortunately, we couldn't hold on to that lead, but that's past now. What's past is past. We are looking forward to this new London derby before us. And Kolo Muani starting ahead of Solanke. That's good to see. At least common sense prevails as far as getting proper players in their right positions. Xavi Simons apparently looks to be on the left. I'm not sure if Archie Gray, is he going to be... I'm guessing Archie Gray is going to be in defensive midfield. Assuming that it's going to be Gallagher who's the one who's going to be pushing forward. And yeah, I mean, what can I say apart from maybe the one thing that I would like to see, or rather would like to see as the game goes on, is either one of Udogi or Spence might have to come on to help down the flanks if and when it is required for us to try and break them down with the overlap. But otherwise, I'm very happy and satisfied with that starting 11. Now is when all the talk stops, and where we actually do our talking on the pitch with that starting 11. Straight back to you, Miss Kate.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, it looks like Paulinho is... Well, I think Frank said that he's picked up an injury. Obviously, we lost Richarlison again. Someone said in the chat, I think it was Ellie, said he had to basically bring in Bissouma because we're down to the bare bones. Jim, what do you make of the lineup? Anything you're not happy with?
Is Paulinho on the bench?
No.
Okay, so he has got a knock.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, hang on, there's someone at the door. I'll let Dermot go first. Go on, Mr. Dermot.
That's the postman. The postman come to see you, Kate. You come on the wrong day, damn you, man. Right.
Yes.
Yeah, look, for me, it's a good lineup. It really is. I'm really pleased Gallagher's gone in. Got a start. Yeah, he had to start. With Archie Gray, I just think it's a strong lineup. The bench is strong as well, Kate. I like the bench. And look, people made this Basuma, but we've had to use them. So I think he just has to follow his balloons onto the pitch. And then, but, it's a team that I think can beat West Ham today. And I preferred, me and Rain have been talking about this for the last sort of week, that we feel Davies is better on the left than Spencer's at the moment. It gives the defence a better balance. In my view. So yeah, for me, great lineup, Kate, and a strong bench as well. And that's a team that should go and beat West Ham today. They really should get. And then you never know, Basuma with the winner.
Maybe I do. I don't. I'm going to turn this round, Billy, and say I don't understand why people are so against Ben Davies. He's an utmost professional. He never lets us down. He does his job. Yes, in an ideal world, we would have better. But he's the least of my worries looking at that lineup. I think he gets a really rough deal personally. So, I'm not worried at all that he's playing. Jimbo, sorry, I know that was something for me. What did you make of the lineup? Obviously, brilliant to see Conor Gallagher making his debut.
There's never a pastor that comes to this door that's not for they're all for you.
Guilty.
Occasionally, there's one for my son. What did you ask me? Sorry.
I said, what do you make of the lineup? Anything you're not happy with? Are you pleased to see Gallagher starting?
No, yeah, I'm pleased with the team's all right for me. It's, I say it every week. For me, there's one or two players you could swap around that don't make a lot of difference for me. Everyone moaned about Davies last time. He was man in a match and scored. So let's hope there's no moaning about him. He will always give you his all, that's for sure. And we've lost Paulinho. I've got Connor because Connor's a similar player, but a bit better on the ball for me than Paulinho. So, no, I'm happy with the team, Kate. And I'm pleased Basuma's on the bench because, look, he's taking a wage, right? So he should be on the bench. He shouldn't be in the under 21s or whatever. If he's getting a wage from his club and we need him, which we do because we're down to the bare bones, and then he should be on the bench. So
yeah, I just saw that Man United have taken the lead, which is devastating. But in all fairness, they definitely deserve it without any shadow of a doubt. They've been excellent. This is the West Ham lineup for anyone who is interested. They've got Areola in goal. Wan-Bissaka is back today. Todibo, oh my God, Mavropanos, Skulls, Souček, Fernandez, Somerville, Bowen, their captain, Pablo and Tati. Then they've got Hermanson, Walker-Peters, Kilman, Igor, Wilson, Rodriguez, Potts, Kante and Mayers. No Paqueta. They're saying he's got a bad back. Dermot, this guy's gone, surely. Paqueta, I think it's a done deal.
Yeah, it is a done deal. He is gone. Look, I don't think he's got a back injury. It is all down to him wanting to move to Flamengo, for what I'm hearing. I was told last night that deal should go through over the weekend sometime. I think West Ham want it done. He wants it done. And I'm glad he's not playing because he's the one danger player for me that I would have been really worried about. Bowen for me is another threat. But I think the rest of the West Ham players are just not confident. They got no confidence in them. And I think Nuno's on the brink now. And it's going to be very interesting to see today. Today is billed as El Sacchio. It's going to be interesting to see whoever goes ahead first. I think they'll win the game. Because I think whoever gets the first goal, the other team's heads may drop a little bit. Our home record isn't great, but West Ham haven't won none in the last 5. We've only won 1 in the last 5. So a win today is so important. But if we can get ahead early, I think this West Ham team's head will drop. And I think the floodgates will open then.
While I'm with you, Derm, I'm going to ask your opinion on what you think Gallagher's going to bring to this team. Because like I say, I think he brings the quality, the experience, the leadership. But what do you see? Because it's another signing that I wouldn't say it's divided the fan base, but there's a lot of Tottenham fans that are not happy that we've signed him.
I mean, you're not going to please everyone, are you? You're not going to please every fan in the world, and every fan's going to, there could be. I was delighted when we signed what was his name? Richarlison at the time, because I thought that's a good sign. He can play in the left, he can play up front, and I was turned out I was wrong. So look, for me, Gallagher brings strength in that midfield. He does bring leadership. He brings experience, and that's something crucial when you've got young players in there as well. That he can lead them in times when the game's a bit tough. He can stand up and be counted. And I think he brings experience. He does bring leadership, which is so vital. We haven't got many captains on the field that are not captains that can stand up and say, right, you're not doing your job. Follow me. I think Bergveld, there's a bit of that in him. But I think for Archer Gray and Bergveld, I think this is a great signing for them because he can then, with Palunia, really guide these youngsters into being better players. And I think him and Palunia together, I think that's going to be a great link up, them two.
Yeah.
Palunia as a 6, Gallagher as an 8. That is going to really strengthen our midfield. And Xavi as a 10, that's mouthwatering. That is mouthwatering. And you get the front 3 right, and we've got the defence right, and we get the goalkeeper right. We've got one hell of a team there.
Yeah, look, I agree. And Jimbo, I think we've said the fact that Conor Gallagher, obviously Pochettino made him captain of Chelsea. He's the type that's not going to allow players to be lazy. He's going to give them, Romero's our captain, yes, but Gallagher will bring that leadership quality to the team, which we need desperately, in my opinion.
Yeah, give him a kick up the backside because he's not going to stand for people not working hard. But the thing is, Kate, is what's so frustrating about Tottenham Hotspurs, right? Is we've got the base of a really good squad. They need to add, 4 or 5 players to it, and the money they've wasted. We could have done this over the last few years. So let's hope that they pull their finger out. It's a good start for me, Connor in there, and this new left back we bought. Who's the Brazilian manager? What's his name?
Ancelotti.
He really likes him, and they're saying that he's got a massive chance of going to the World Cup. This left back. So it seems like we bought another good player there. I was listening to that. What's his name? Phil
Vickery.
Talk about him, and he never had a bad word to say about him. He said he's all round game. He's fantastic. So look, they just need to buy a few players in the Conor Gallagher mould, in this experienced, middle age for a footballer, and we'll have a really good squad, and we'll start challenging for stuff. So it's not hard for them to do it. They've got the money to do it, so do it.
Gallagher's only 25. For me, I don't even think he's hit his peak yet.
No,
and the good thing is
25 to 29.
Yeah. If we don't get a left winger, maybe Freddie Gallagher, his beautiful Chow could play down the left wing because can't really be any worse than what we got. But Mr. Chang, are you hopeful? I mean, how confident are you that there's more signings to come? We've got a couple of weeks of the window left. I think this is a real solid household name. No one's got to Google who Conor Gallagher is, a player that was wanted by another Premier League team, got Premier League experience. Chelsea fans, they might slag him off now, but they didn't want to let him go. Are you pleased with the signing, and how confident are you we'll bring more in this window?
I'm very, very pleased with this signing. I think I mentioned it yesterday on our weekend preview over on the Perfect Match, saying how I really fancied Gallagher even while he was at Crystal Palace before he made his move to Chelsea. And I did have some maybe rather unrealistic hopes that he might just make the switch across London to us from Chelsea, but it would appear that his move away from Atletico Madrid has facilitated his transfer to us in the eventuality that we needed someone to stand in for the injured Bentancur, and lo and behold, here he is. And I really do hope that isn't the end of the transfer business for us, because we've already sold Brennan Johnson. Don't get me wrong, I still have high hopes for both Odebeer and Mathis Tel to step up and be good players for us. But if I were to be fully realistic, and I am trying to be very grounded here, I think we still need another forward player, preferably out and out right winger, someone who can actually give some competition to both Kudus and also Javi Simons out on the wing. So I would very much like to have another white player, be it on the left or the right. We kept going on and on that we never really replaced Son Heung-min. But hopefully Kudus is that answer. And let's just wait and see how the next 2 weeks unfolds, because today is already the 17th. We have a fortnight to go before the end of the transfer window. But if there is to be business to be done, hopefully sooner rather than later. Yes, I know this is only the January transfer window. It's not an easy transfer window to deal with by any means, because any club that wants to do any sort of business, they will have to find replacements, suitable replacements to adapt if they are to sell to us. Likewise, since we have already sold Brennan Johnson, I think it only makes sense that we do replace him. But if we don't replace him, then I wouldn't be surprised really if we actually push the boat out for another striker, assuming that Richarlison isn't going to be, featuring anytime soon, or if it does feature, it's going to be rather sparingly, seeing as his injury woes are still coming on and off. So yeah, overall, I'm pining my hopes that we might get one more signing. Even one signing, I think, it should be enough to help propel us through our Champions League qualifications to the knockout stages. And yeah, fingers crossed, Miss Kate, that we are far from done, shall I say, from our transfer dealings in this January. Having said that, straight back to you.
Yeah.
Okay, just let me say, I don't think it is the January window's hard to get players in. If you offer
Other
the money,
teams manage.
yeah, if you offer the money, right, and like look what they've done with Gallagher, gone straight in, right, and gone well over what Villa could have got him at, right, and within 2 days, 3 days, he was a Spurs player. So go in if you're serious about making this team a proper team. Go in and pay the money. They said they're going to put the wages up and pay these top players a better wage, and it'll happen. But you've got a grand in your pocket, and it's not like they're not making the money, Enoch. They are making the money.
Yeah. Derbytron, West Ham, 10 matches winless run in the Premier League, have lost all 6 of their Premier League London derbies. This could be Tottenham's first Premier League double over West Ham since the 2019-2000. Oh, Man United have scored again. Oh, I think I've just been sick in my mouth. 2019-2020 season. I made the outrageous comment yesterday, and I absolutely stand by it, that if we lose this game today, I am fully frank out, because for me, there's no excuse whatsoever. How are you confident, and how are you feeling about Thomas Frank if we do lose this game?
Well, if we lose, then Frank should get in a taxi straight after the game and just go away somewhere. I'll even pay for the taxi for him. We cannot lose against West Ham. As you say, Kate, they haven't won one in the last 10. I mean, but what really scares me is Dr. Tottenham making an appearance again, and that really worries me. Look, if we win, I think it buys him time. I think it gives him a bit more space. I think then you give him the window, and then you see where you go from there. We have got a difficult February, by the way. So I think you do give him that. If he loses today, then I think the club have to sack him. I think the board have to take a stand and say, right, I'm sorry, this isn't good enough, and sort of preempt what February's going to be. I think the board, I think if this was Daniel Levy, I think he would have been gone by now. I think Daniel Levy would have pulled the trigger. I honestly think also that if he loses today, then any little bit of hope that some of the fans have in him, and I do think 50% of the fan base do want him gone. I think the players also want him gone. If you look at Romero, Mickey van der Ven, the senior players are not happy with him. You keep hearing reports coming out. The training's boring. It's like, I think Romero said, or once Van der Ven, I think I read somewhere, it's like training under 18. So today's last chance saloon for both of them. I think whoever loses today, I think by tomorrow they would be sacked. But Thomas Frank, you cannot lose today. You cannot lose against this team. But We did draw against Wolves. We did lose against Bournemouth. So it worries me. It really worries me. But yeah, he needs a win today. I think today saves his job. Lose, then just get in a taxi after the game. Don't bother doing the press conference. Just pack your bags, do an Ange, pack your bags and go.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are feeling like that. Mr. Chang, arguably, this is, I mean, I was Jim, it was only a little while ago that West Ham won the Conference League and their fans were ringing up TalkSport saying, we're so much better than Spurs, and they've had this massive fall from grace. And a lot of people are saying if they happen to lose today to us, that's it, they will be relegated. How are you feeling about the game? And if we did happen to lose or draw, would it change your opinion on Thomas Frank?
Who's that for, Kate?
Chang.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay, Mr. Boxer. Yeah, I think we have to win this game. The stakes are very, very high. And I think this is the boiling point now. This is, you could almost say this is the watershed moment, not only for Thomas Frank, but also for the board, now that Levy is gone. Just how patient are we going to be with Thomas Frank? I think patience is running thin. And even the squad morale, the patience of the fans is really scraping at the bottom of the barrel, if I have to be very, very honest. But I still remain fairly optimistic that Thomas Frank just needs a run of games now to actually turn things around for us, because as much as we've been battered in both the League Cup and also the FA Cup, I'm still holding out hope that we qualify for the knockout stages of the Champions League and give ourselves a good run. Hopefully, in the hopes that we might just be able to entice a few more quality players to come our way and build upon what we currently have. But I think this is it could very well be last chance saloon for Thomas Frank. And I wouldn't be surprised really if he actually gets the sack before Nuno, if we do lose this game, because as much as I want him to succeed and as much as I do not want us to sack a manager who can't even complete a single full season, I think it's only going to be detrimental to us. So I really do hope that Thomas Frank gets his tactics right, even his substitutions. I think that's going to be very, very telling. How soon he makes his substitutions, what kind of player he brings on. If you remember the game against Forest, where I thought he brought on substitutions to protect the 2-0 deficit away from home, that was rather strange, in my opinion. But we are now playing at home. What's past is past. I really do hope we get our first win of the new calendar year, and who knows, you might even go from strength to strength if we do win this game. But all that is hyperbole, as they say right now. I'm not going to read between the lines. I will still wait with trepidation for the kickoff whistle to get us fully underway. And that bench that we have right there, that is a very, very strong bench with lots of options to call off the bench to help us if and when we need to, affect proceedings. It's a matter of when will the substitutions come out and whom Thomas Frank brings on. I think that will be the make or break for him and his Spurs career. Having said that, straight back to you, Ms. Kate.
Yeah. Jim, do you agree? Do you think this is make or break for both managers? Or do you think, I mean, my problem is I don't see any value in sacking Frank because I don't think there's anyone to bring in, and I don't like replacing managers mid-season. So, but I wouldn't want him to carry on. But I mean, what do you think?
There's loads of talk that they're speaking to Alonso. So if he does lose it, maybe he'd be out and Alonso be in. I don't know. That's what they there's a lot of stuff out there saying that. But look, I don't think either manager will get sacked if they lose. If you want to know the truth,
Really?
I mean, well, who's going to go into West Ham when they're fighting relegation? So, I mean,
have you read that?
Well, I mean, I don't. Yeah, I did see a report that he's ready to go in there, but I don't think either manager will get sacked. I mean, unless they've got someone in the background like Alonso lined up for if he does foul, I don't think you get the sack. Look, let's be honest, right? We ain't losing this game against West Ham. It ain't happening.
Oh,
It ain't
God.
happening. If anyone's watched any Spurs in this
That's the
chat,
kiss of
right,
death.
I've watched West Ham this season. I've watched 3 or 4 of their games, right? If any Spurs fan think that we're going to lose this game, please say so now, because I cannot see in any way or form, right, how we're going to lose against West Ham, because they are really, really bad.
Clip it. Do you know what, Jimbo? How many times have we sat and watched a game and you've gone, there is no possible way so-and-so is going to score in this game, and literally 30 seconds later they've scored. So if we now lose, you're going to have to go down the stairs again, I'm afraid. It's just one of those things. I can't cope with you being the kiss of death. I think as well, I think obviously we've got a win today. However, I do think performance is really important today. We've had to sit through a lot of dross. We saw a good first half against Sunderland and tailed off. We saw a terrible first half against Villa, but a good second half. I mean, Dermot, if we can put those halves together, we actually might get 90 minutes of good football. Is that possible?
I would love 90 minutes of good football. I can't remember the last time we had 90 minutes of good football. Do you know what, Jim? Never change, man. Never change. Always be you. Always be you. Never change. Look, okay, all we want is good football, isn't it? All we want to see is 90 minutes of committed 100% good football, and it's all we've ever asked for. And look, we didn't get it under Ange Postecoglou. Well, we may have got it for the first 10 games and then it all went to pot. We haven't had it under Thomas Frank. And if we can see as fans good football, the players trying on the pitch, we will get behind them. We as fans will get behind them. If we don't see them trying, what do you expect us to do? We're not going to sit there and pretend that we're watching great football when we're not. So the players have to also learn that they have to put in a performance. They want our support, then they're going to have to put in 100%. And when we're playing at home, don't play defensive football, for God's sake. Just play, have your defense right, but play attacking football. Go for it. Go for the juggler. Go for the kill. Put the game to bed early. And even when we are winning, don't go defensive. Just keep playing the same way. It's all we ask for. We don't ask for an awful lot.
I agree. I'm just looking at the Twitter, and there's a lot of people moaning that it's a very poor showing at the protest. I'm not sure about numbers, but it doesn't look like a lot. I'm going to be honest. So,
I think after that statement last night, I think a lot of people might have pulled out, Kate.
Yeah.
Because it was a statement. I mean, that's the statement you would expect after the protest. But I think that Tottenham have been smart putting it in before the protest. You know, I think they've been smart. But look, what I hear of Vinay, that he's good with the supporters. That he doesn't. There's quite a few there.
No, but the people behind aren't in the protest. They're just walking to the ground. So, carry on.
Look, they've spoke now, and they've come out and said what they're going to do. They cannot go against that now. Otherwise, I'll get in the car and go down to protest next time if they don't back up what they said. Because you can't come out and say all this what they're going to do and then not do it.
I mean, I agree, but I mean, do you think, Dermot, do you think there's a chance that the owners are reacting as well to Romero calling them out? Because he did call them liars, and then he obviously edited his tweet. You know, there's that as well.
Yeah. I think that's more what they're reacting to than anything else. I think the protests, I don't think the protests are on their radar. I don't think they even know there was a protest today. I think this is more what Romero's saying within the club, calling them out lies, and they are lies. Romero was spot on in what he said, and he should not have retracted it. He should have kept it as it is. And I feel by retracting it that he's gone down a little bit in my view, because if he's supposed to be this person that cares about us, the fans and the club, he should have kept it up there. He should not have retracted it or edited it, whatever. And I would have taken the fine. I say, right, I'm not moving it. You fine me. I don't care if you find me a month's wages. I'm saying how I feel. And he's speaking for us. So I think the club have done it because of that. The protests, I don't think the owners even know what a protests are. I don't think they take a blind bit of notes unless you've got Manchester United type protests where thousands upon thousands upon thousands of fans are walking down the high road. Then I think the owners take notice. But I look, I'm sorry that not a lot of people have turned up. I do agree with Jim because of the statement. I think people have pulled out. But I think we've got to keep pushing on with it. We've got to keep going and we've got to get behind change for Tottenham. I know Billy, nice lad. And there's a lot of good people giving up their free time that care about our football club, that want to make our football club better. So I think, look, I'm sorry there's not a lot of people turn up today, but they just got to keep going. And we've got to get behind it. If we want real change, we've got to get behind it.
Yeah. If you go to the website, Vinay Venkatesan released a 2-page statement, which is in the programme today, stating all about the disconnect from the fans, about the plans to invest heavily in the academy, about changing the wage structure at Spurs, about buying better players, about concessions for use. There's so many issues that they've addressed in a very good statement, very well written. And now, like we say, the proof will be in the pudding. Look, I think everyone's got a right to support the club how they wish to support the club. And I don't criticise anyone for protesting. I don't criticise anyone for not protesting. It's entirely up to them. I mean, you're sitting there saying we're pathetic, our fans are spineless. Are you actually at the protest? I mean, I don't think it's spineless. I just personally think it doesn't make any difference. But that's just my opinion. So, yeah. Everybody support as they please.
Kate. I've just heard, I've got a friend of mine that there's a couple of hundred max at the protest.
Okay. So, okay. We're coming to the time where we need your scores and goal scorers. We've got a 3-0 Gallagher brace from Steve Dyer with his member chat. We've got Nathan Newman saying, good morning from New York City, 3-1 win today. Spurs Gamer is saying 4-2 Spurs win. Steve Cucina is saying Spurs 3, Gallagher will 3-1. Gallagher will score. That would be amazing.
It might be the own goal for them.
Oh, don't. 3-1 Spurs. 3-1 to West Ham, says Scott Amos. Yeah, look, everybody's got a right to it. As long as people respect each other, it's absolutely fine. Bobby is obviously saying 2-0 Van der Ven brace because he's in love with him. We all know that. 3-0 Spurs from Toronto, Gray, Tell and Romero. Billy is saying 1-0 to Spurs. Yeah, he did. Billy T was very good on TalkSport as well. I'll give my score. I am going for a 3-1 Spurs win. I'm actually feeling a little bit confident today, which is most unusual. And I am going to go for my goal scorers. I'm going to have Van der Ven to get 1. I'm going to have Xavi Simons to get 1. And I'm going to have Romero to get 1. 3 different goal scorers. That is my prediction. Mr. Chang, what do you fancy for the score and who will score the goals?
I am going to stick with my 2-0 prediction from yesterday, 24 hours earlier, which is the same prediction that Mr. Bobby Kang has put up. It's going to be 2-0 for me. And I really do love a debut goal by a new signing. What better way for Conor Gallagher to announce himself as a Spurs player with a debut goal today? I think that would really, really do a world of good to have United just got a third. I was just talking and I think United have just got a third. Okay. Yeah, got Conor Gallagher to get.
Man United just got a third goal. Oh, they have as well. Wow. Oh, well. The league's done. Oh, well. Arsenal, congratulations. Let's just concentrate on Spurs.
Yes. As I was saying, Conor Gallagher to get his debut goal, and if we were to get another goal scorer, let it be Kolo Muani and his first league goal for us to add to his Champions League goal. I think it's really important for him to actually score in the Premiership because otherwise his loan would just be pointless, really. a striker who doesn't score goals where it matters for us, the bread and butter. That is every domestic club's, source of income. That is the Premier League. So yeah, 1 goal for me for Conor Gallagher and 1 more for Kolo Muani, and it's going to be 2-0 from Southeast Asia. Having said that, straight back to you, Miss Kate.
2-0. I like that. Take a clean sheet all day long. Well possible. I just personally think we'll let one in. Dermot, how are you feeling about the game? Who's going to score and what's the score going to be?
I'm trying to think what score Jim will go for. So I'm trying to think now, do I outscore him or do I try to go a little bit low ball? Feed him in for a full sense of security. No wonder. Do you know what? I'm going for a 4-0 Spurs win today. I think we're going to absolutely batter them. Maybe 5, but I'm going to stick with 4. I'll let Jim go 5. I think goal scorers today will be Gallagher with 1. I think Van der Ven and who else? That's 2. Then I think Archie Gray with 1, and then Solanke with a brace.
Wow.
I think Solanke's going to come off the bench and get a brace today. So yeah, no, that's 5-0. Yeah, I'll go for 5-0. Bogger it.
Wow, 5-0. That would be nice. I'll take 1. I'll take 5. I don't care as long as we win. 3-0 Spurs. 3-0 Gray hat trick. Wow. Hi, Kate and Jimbo. 3-0 Spurs. Let's hope so. That'd be rather nice. Jimbo, Dermot's gone with 5. What score are you going for?
4-0. I've said it all along on our channel, and I'm going to stick with my 4-0. I think we will batter them today. I really do.
And who's going to score?
I think Moani's going to get his first goal. Simons.
Yeah.
Connor. And I'm going to go Tell. I think if Tell gets regular games in this squad, I think he'll start scoring a lot of goals.
I'm the only one who didn't predict Conor Gallagher to score. I don't see him being a big goal scorer for us. I think he may get an assist, but I hope I'm wrong. I don't care who scores, want to know the truth. I don't care how it goes in as long as it goes in. Unless Dice beats them and Villa win versus Everton to cut their lead down to 3 points. Wouldn't it be peachy if Unai Emery steals in and Arsenal bottle it again? Yes, it would. 2-1 Spurs, Tell and Gallagher. I forgot Tell. I think he's got a good chance of scoring today, actually. I'm saying 2-1 Spurs, says Ellie. 3-0 again, like last time. Gallagher debut goal, Tell and Kolo Muani. Xavi with 2 assists. Come on, you Spurs. Mo says, love the cut of your jib, Jimbo, on Tell. Look, I've got high hopes for Tell. I think we're seeing improvements already, but I get that he wants to leave because he wants regular football. It must be a bit, what's the score with Man United? Did it get disallowed? Yeah, it did. So it's 2-0. Not that it really matters, but Big V says Kolo, Tell and Biss the score 3-1. Tell and a goal from a corner for us and a defensive mess up for a consolation goal for the Spammers. So 2-1 us. I will say Spurs have scored 11 times from corners, which is the joint highest tally in the Premier League. So we are very good. I do expect, that's why I've said Romero and Van der Ven both to get one, because I expect our goals to come from corners. Mason Mount is third, but it's fine to VAR. I don't know what that says, but yeah, it was off. Do you really see us winning 5 in a row under Thomas Frank?
Yeah, look, that second half of Villa, right, should really show them what we can do. Right, if we play front foot football, so let's give everyone a kick up the backside and they start playing front foot football. You haven't got to leave a high line. You can still, have your defence set right. So yeah, I think after the Villa game, it might have given them all a kick up the backside and show them what we can do.
I don't personally see us ever stringing 5 wins in a row under Thomas Frank, but that's just me. I thought it to be a negative, Nancy. I just don't see it. I think a lot of the time Thomas Frank kind of sets up to draw games, which is frustrating. So, look, grow your hair out, Jimbo, until we win 5 in a row like that Man United fan. Bloody hell. We don't need to see that. Jim gets an afro if he grows his hair. It's not a great look. But it is coming to the end of the show. Thank you very much to everyone that's watched, of course. Mr. Chang, thank you as always for coming on to the Pump Up Show. What's going on over at Spurs Diehards?
Spurs Diehards will be doing a post-match review tomorrow night, I believe from 9 p.m. onwards. They might even do a quick post-match reaction later on tonight, but I'm not sure if that's still on. But for sure, tomorrow night at 9 p.m. It's going to be Ian Math, Adrian Stroker, and a few other guest panelists. But yeah, absolutely looking forward to that show. If we win, that is, because
Yes.
otherwise that will be somewhat awkward, really, to be looking forward to a match in which the post match review is a loss. But I'm fairly positive it's going to be a fantastic weekend for not only Spurs diehards, for all Spurs fans in general. Having said that, as always, Miss Kate, Mr. Boxall, and also Mr. Moyles, a pleasure and an honor to be sharing the screen with you here on the pre-match pump up over on Tottenham TV. Chang, over and out from Southeast Asia.
Chang, it's always a pleasure to have your smiley face on the show. One of the nicest people on the planet. It's official. Do go over to Spurs Diehards and subscribe. Dermot, what's going on over at THFC Till We Die?
Yeah, thanks again, Kate and Jim, for having me on. I love coming on these pump ups. It's always great doing it with Chang as well. Absolutely. That man's a legend in his own right. He really is. He's probably, I agree with you, Kate. He's the nicest person on YouTube. Yeah, but again, thanks for having me on. Yeah, we're on the march to 3K. We've got watch alongs, pre-match, post-match, play ratings tomorrow. And then next week, we've got all your latest transfer news first and fastest as we get it pumped out. And yeah, just hope for a Spurs win today. A Spurs win always makes the weekend a little bit nicer and a little bit more fun. But thanks again, Kate and Jim, for having me on. Really love coming on here.
Always welcome, Dermot. Always welcome. We have Champions League back as well Tuesday, so we will be back on the Pump Up Tuesday at 6:30. Do go over and subscribe to Dermot as well. And if you fancy coming over to me and Jimbo, we had to take a couple of weeks off. We've both been really poorly, but we're back. So yeah, there's daytime shows, 12:30, prediction shows with Chang on a Friday, all sorts of things happening. And I have been promised by the legend that is Mickey Hazard, he will be coming on soon. And also the wonderful Vicky, who's regularly on with Chris Cowling, is going to be coming on over the next couple of weeks. So look out for those shows. But look, thank you to everyone that watched. Massive congratulations to Man United and Paige. I just saw you come in. Big up to Steve Dyer as well for the member chat, and the two people that became members that for some reason haven't starred. But enjoy the game. Enjoy your day. Have a great weekend. Make sure you like, subscribe, stay where you are, because you will be transferred now to the watch along with Brian Daigle and Sim. And as always, guys, come on, you Spurs.
We're going to smash them 4-0. You heard it
Come
here.
on, Tottenham.